Hi everybody, welcome back and thank you so much for being here. Today you'll need a mat, some wall space and a chair. Hi everybody, welcome to day 3. Whenever you're ready, we're going to get started with our all fours exercise. So we'll come on to all fours. Hands are under the shoulders to start with, but then we're going to step forward with each hand. Make sure the heel of your hand traces through the knee and the foot. So just in case we're veering to one side, we can correct it, or if the hands or the knees are too wide, we can correct it. So hip width apart, hand through the knee. You step forward about 6 inches or the size of your hand and you bring your shoulders above your wrists. Make sure there's still a little bend at your hip, and then you allow the belly to relax so it encourages an arch in your back. The head hangs and you bring your shoulder blades together. We're going to hold for a minute. Keep breathing. Shoulders are above your wrists. Arms are nice and strong. Shoulder blades together. Let the belly relax. Feel the arch in your back. Make sure you have that alignment through the center of the body. Keep breathing down around your chest, your belly, your ribs. Shoulders above the wrists. Let the head hang. Feel the shoulder blades together. Let the belly relax. Feel the arch in your back. Adjust slightly if you need to. Feel the warmth through your arms. Bone bearing through the hands. Shoulders above your wrists. Let the belly relax. Let the head hang. And whenever you're ready, you can come out of it. Again, it's part of the programming of the exercise to bring us back to alignment, to feel what just happened, the shortening at the back of the neck, the lengthening at the front of the neck, and how nice and free that feels. For our next exercise, you're going to stand. So the feet are parallel and hip distance apart. The size of 2 fists fit between your feet and your feet are lined up with each other. So that's important because we're going to load down, so through all the load bearing joints of the body. From the side, you want to make sure this isn't happening. So again, imagine you're putting weight down right through the middle of your hips, through the middle of the legs. Imagine 2 big tubes. You don't want those tubes going forward, so get that alignment through the body. So a gentle tuck of the tailbone. So we talked about the pelvis before, as if it spills water out the back and out the front. Find that area where it stops spilling. So you're using your core, knitting your ribs, pressing down through the feet, and feel that alignment through the spine, down through the legs. From there, you lift the arms overhead. So that's what's really important about the alignment through the rest of the body, because we can kind of do this and compensate. But tuck your tailbone, scoop your belly, knit your ribs, push through the feet, feel all of those links. So we're interlocking the fingers, spreading out with the thumbs and pushing the heels of the hands up to the ceiling. And you want to keep your elbows nice and straight. It's okay if the shoulders creep up a little or if they're down, you just don't want the rib cage to flare and the back to arch. You're going to look up at the back of your hands, keep the elbows straight, and we're going to hold this for a minute. So I'm going to stick my timer on the screen and stop talking just because of my neck position. Push down through the feet. Feel the vertical loading down through the entire body. And you look up and our minute starts now. And you can come out of it. So we felt that loading through the body. It's important again to think of the head on top of a nice, a solid foundation, that structure, and we want that vertical loading through the rest of the body to manage the weight of the head. So if you imagine you had maybe a 4.5 or a 5 kilo weight and you're told to hold it overhead, and whoever holds it the longest wins, you can imagine if someone holds it here, how heavy it's going to be, and your nose will get drawn down. If you hold it behind your head, you'll want to go back because gravity is working against you to the side, or the other side, you're going to veer off. So the most stable and strong way is to be vertical. So we want that nice neutral line through the body, bring that posture back to support the head as much as we can. Our next exercise, we're going to lie down on our side. You're going to bring your knees together, knees and ankles together. And when we rotate the upper body, we don't want one knee to slide. So that's really important. We're going to work with stretching through the hips and opening across the shoulders. So try and achieve a 90-degree angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. So your knees from your hips. And then we have our hands on top of each other to start. The top arm is going up to the ceiling and back behind you. So make sure that when you rotate, the knees don't slide. So the hand goes behind you. We're going to stretch both arms out. If this is uncomfortable or you're unsure about your knee position, the free hand can hold your knees together. So we're mostly focusing on the arm behind the back. And we're going to hold this position for 4 minutes. So we can get into position, knees on top of each other. You have to keep checking in with that. And the top arm reaches back. The bottom arm can stay on the knees or reach out. You'll notice at first that we can't get our shoulder very close to the ground, but we're going to stay here until that releases and relaxes. For some of us that could take extra minutes, for some of us it could take extra sessions. So it might just be a few extra days of neck rehab, or this exercise in particular, to notice the body letting go. It just depends on what's going on in our own bodies. And this could be to do with the rotation in the body, could be maybe a little stiffness around our rib cage or some adhesion there in the tissue. Could be our hips, could be our knees and our ankles, it could be the shoulders, the chest, the upper back. So it can be a lot of things, stiffness in the spine. So don't put pressure on the shoulder to open up, because we're asking the whole body to let go here. Breathe deeply and just imagine that the arm is getting heavier, falling closer to the ground. So maybe the back of the hand is down, maybe the elbow is down. Maybe the back of the arm towards the shoulder is down. Maybe it's away from the ground, but you just keep picturing it falling closer and closer to the ground. Relax your whole body and breathe. Stretch the arm out to encourage a rotation and getting the shoulder closer to the ground. This exercise helps us to bring our arms into the same plane as our shoulders. So when we're walking straight, our arms work in what's called a sagittal plane. Now when we open out the sides, it's a coronal, or also known as a frontal plane. So it helps to feed the arm into the shoulder. So if we separate the front of the body from the back of the body, you can separate through the arm and across. So it helps just with another plane in the arm, because we mightn't spend a lot of time here with the arms reaching out, but this is really nice for the muscles along our chest, a little release for the muscles of the upper back. It's not very often in the day that we completely let our upper back relax. And we don't spend a lot of time in this rotation, but our mid back can really help to free up the shoulders. And when we look at our chest, our shoulders, our upper back, it all feeds up the neck. So we want that alignment to help our posture, to help the stacking through the body, the loading through the body, and then the weight of that heavy head. Again, imagining that you're lifting that weight overhead and it has to stay there all day, or it has to adjust around flexion, extension, rotation, side bending, twisting. So we really want a strong center, so we always come back to neutral. A lot of us at the moment might not be coming back to neutral. We could come back to a forward head posture, or slightly more bent to one side or the other. So we're trying to address that here, looking at the whole body and also getting pain relief through the neck with our stretches, our massages, our exercises. Keep breathing. The breath work really helps your body to release. So that expansion of the diaphragm is going to ask our obliques to open up, the back muscles to open up, our chest and our neck and the attachments. Keep breathing, let your shoulder relax through the floor. We're into our last minute. Check in on the knees. Sometimes they slip apart without you realizing it, so just check and make sure. You might notice that one side is a lot better or maybe stiffer than the other side, so we'll be able to see now when we swap sides in a moment. Some of us may feel or hear cracking or little adjustments in the body. Never forcing it, just using your own weight here to relax and bring you back to a little more length in the muscles. And when you're ready, you can come out of it. Let's do the same on the second side. So, roughly a 90-degree angle with the knees from your hip. Hands reach out in front. Hands reach out in front. Knees on top of each other, ankles on top of each other. And your head can follow the top arm back. It'll feel funny after spending so long in the opposite direction. So we're here in this position, the hand can reach, or it can help your knees to stay together. And we're going to have 4 minutes in this position. Open up your chest, reach back with the extended arm. You can feel the back of the hand against the floor, the shoulder, and the elbow. Maybe the shoulder doesn't go the whole way down yet, and that's okay. Maybe this side is a bit more free or a little less free than the other side. Just feel it out. A few deep breaths, allowing your body to relax and keeping the knees together, will help the shoulder to let go. Some of us may need a few extra minutes on both sides for some of those tight areas to stop gripping. Some of us, we may need more minutes and more sessions. So we're not forcing the body, we're just kind of inquiring and then noticing and enjoying the freedom and the new range in the neck, the new movement, a little less pain, and slow and steady gets you there. So the consistency of these consecutive days really helps the body to realign itself, and that realignment is what's really going to get rid of neck pain over time. So massages are great if we can do them every single day, all the time, and the rest of the posture is fine. But if it's not, we want to look at both. Getting blood flow to the area, massaging the tissue, realigning, strengthening certain parts of the body, stretching certain parts of the body, looking at the ranges available and maybe what areas might be tight because of that. So we can feel our chest here, we can feel the center of the body, the hips. Is it hard to keep the knees together? So there may be a bit of tightness through the hips and the lower back. So we're also addressing other areas in the body, not just the neck. But obviously our focus is to keep drawing into our neck area today. Breathe deeply. With every breath, let your shoulders sink a bit closer to the ground. Gravity is helping you here, as long as you can keep the knees together. If we forget about the knees, we compensate. So you want to get something new out of this. You want to show up and be present and get as much healing out of this as you can. Back of the hand against the floor, elbow down. Hopefully the shoulder is getting closer to the ground. This side is a little bit better for me, so if I was doing this practice, I would do a little extra on my first side again. So you can always decide which side felt worse. If you're not sure, it's fine, and then they're even enough for you to keep going. But if you notice that this side, the shoulder is a lot higher than the other side, pause the video and do an extra minute on this side. Or vice versa, so it could be the other side. If that was a lot tighter, pause the video and do an extra minute. We're always trying to come back to balance. So inquire with the body, help it to reorganize with your breath work. Let the arm be long and heavy, working with this coronal plane. Keep breathing. Reach the arm, let the shoulder get closer to the ground. Get the knees and stack them again, just in case there was any slide. It's really normal that happens, so no judgment, just correct it every time it does happen. Both knees are pressing against the ground, ankles together. When you reinforce that even slightly with the hand touching the knees, you really feel the middle of the body twist even more. So you can start to appreciate how the center of the body affects the neck, how the hips affect the neck. Everything is connected. It's nice to open up the chest and let the weight of the arm draw through the ground because it gives you a lot of relief up your neck. but it's also nice to feel it through the center of the body and make those connections. That awareness is going to help your posture. The posture and alignment for the stacking of your head is the long-term goal for getting rid of neck pain. Whenever you're ready, you can come out of it. So for our next exercise, we're standing again. After lying down, it's nice to load the body, so we keep on, again, tapping into all the different areas of posture and balancing it out throughout the class. So you've hip distance and parallel feet. We're going to create this golfer's grip. So the fingers are right up at the top of the palm and the thumb faces outward. So make sure this doesn't happen in the exercise and this doesn't happen. The thumb is out with intention and you have a golfer's grip. So it's a little bit sore on the knuckles, but it's going to give a really nice release and stretch when we let go after. So golfer's grip here. Some of us, not all the fingers get down. So we're working with different muscle roots and different nerve roots from the hand through the wrist, the elbow and the shoulder into the neck. So not all of them always get down. Practice it and see how it improves as the days go on. So gripping the top of your palm, thumbs out to the side. Make sure you don't press in here. So our position is up here, but we don't want to press in on our temples because it's sensitive there. We're making sure we're not flaring the rib cage. So again, scoop through the center, knit your ribs together. And when we do these elbow squeezes, you want to make sure that you're not opening and closing the ribs at the front. So keep your alignment through the body. So you have to stay fully present and stack through all that vertical loading through the body. So thumbs down, gripping at the very top of your palm. Relax your shoulders and lift the elbows nice and high. Thumbs stay down. We bring the elbows together and then open out. When you're ready, we have 25, 25, 24. This is reminding our shoulder that it can hinge as well in that forward movement. We were just working with our frontal plane, our coronal plane it's called sometimes. Now we're moving from the frontal to the sagittal plane. So again, working with all that range of motion in the body. 21, 20, keep the fingers at the top of the palms, thumbs nice and active. 19, nice and solid through the center of the body. Feel the legs work, feel the core work. 17, thumbs down, fingers at the top of your palms. 16, feel the movement through the shoulders. Reach the elbows out to the sides, the shoulders are flat on the way back. 15, 14, thumbs down, fingers at the top of your palms. 13, stack through the body. 12, relax the shoulders, elbows high. 11, thumbs down, fingers at the top of your palms. 10, stack evenly through both feet. 9, fingers at the top of your palm. 8, thumbs down, reach forward, open the elbows out to the sides. 7, 6, loading evenly through the body. 5, reach out nice and wide with the elbows. 4, thumbs down, fingers at the top of the palm. We have to keep scanning the body. 3, thumbs down. 2, and last one. And let it go. For our next exercise, we're bringing our legs up against the wall, allowing our back to sink into the mat. The level floor is going to help our head, neck and shoulders to neutralize. So it's going to help to take the pressure out of stacking the body. So when you're ready, you come nice and close to the wall, adjust and shimmy into this position. Take as long as you need. You can always pause the video. Get your bum as close to the wall as you can. I know not everybody is going to have that position exactly, so just a little bit as long as you're not bending the knees. Flex the ankles, push up through the heels. We have 5 minutes in this position. Lie down, reach the arms out, palms up to the ceiling and relax your shoulders. Make sure that you keep pulling the toes down towards your knees. Your feet are parallel and hip distance apart, so watch for any turnout because that's going to reposition our pelvis. So parallel, pushing through the heels, pulling the toes down. Try and notice, are you pulling your right toes down more than the left, and even it out. That will feel funny if one side is a lot stronger than the other, and you're going to have to feel as if the weaker side is working a lot harder, and it is to find balance. So they might not feel even. If you're not sure if one is stronger than the other, then just visually try and match them up. Hopefully they're roughly the same. Press your legs against the wall. Feel your back melting through the ground. Palms are up to help open up our chest. It's always feeding into our neck muscles. So our scalene attachments, our SCM, the hyoid muscles, everything that attaches through the front of the neck, across the shoulders. Keep breathing. Remember how important the breath is to help release the muscles. So the expansion of our diaphragm, the shortening of all the muscles around our neck, and then that release, hydrating through the shoulders and the neck, making sure that you're breathing fully, the belly, the ribs, the chest. Slow, relaxed, deep breaths. Check in with your legs, push through the heels, parallel, hip width apart or a little bit closer. Toes are pulling down, heels are pushing up, back of the legs pressing against the wall. You feel the hips heavy through the ground, the rib cage heavy through the ground, the shoulders heavy through the ground. This is helping with the alignment of our head, neck and shoulders, of our back, of our hips. So we get to have a neutral center without maybe a misalignment of the hips, causing the muscles to compensate with the upper body and come out of alignment. So it's helping the whole body. Keep relaxing the shoulders, opening up the chest. Pushing through the heels, pulling the toes down. Really notice your jaw and your head, the back of the head relaxing through the floor, gentle chin nod and how relaxed the jaw is. Feel what a relief it is for the weight of the head to get this relaxation, for the shoulders to relax and switch off, for the chest to open, for your belly to relax, for your body to get those big, deep, relaxed breaths. It is work for the front of the ankles, but we keep going, pushing through the heels, pulling the toes down, using the front of the legs, relaxing the back of the legs. That's going to help for length all the way through the back of the body, through our lower back, up along our spines. Legs against the wall, push up through the heels, pull down with the toes. Open up your chest, palms face up. Breathe into the belly, the ribs and the chest. Feel the support that your head has, that your shoulders have, your hips have. Feel that level floor helping to bring our alignment back to neutralize the upper body. Work with the lower body without having to guess about the alignment through the rest of the body. So we're open chained with the lower body. The more you can relax here, the better. Think of these rehab classes like meditation as well as the exercises. Relaxing really helps to take pain away from the muscles because we're not tensing. Seems obvious, but it's harder to put into practice consistently. Relaxed effort here as you pull the toes down, push through the heels. Feel length in the back of the legs. Open up your chest, relax your belly. Stretch the arms out a bit wider, back of the hands against the floor, palms facing up, and let your arms sink through the ground. Notice how your chest is loving this nice open position. Pull the toes down, press the heels up, legs against the wall. Relax your belly, breathe into it. Relax your ribs, breathe into your rib cage. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your chest, your jaw, and breathe into the chest. Check your alignment through the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the shoulder position. And whenever you're ready, you can come out of this position. So our next exercise, we're going to have our legs on the chair. Try and have your hips underneath your knees, or as much as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this is a 5-minute exercise, a 5-minute relaxation. Palms face up, relax your shoulders back, let the legs relax. Feel the hips nice and heavy through the ground. Breathe in through the center of your body. Like static back, where our legs are long against the wall, you can feel the upper body relaxing, unloaded, an open chain of the legs, which we don't rarely do with awareness of relaxing our shoulders and our neck until bedtime. And a lot of us these days don't get enough sleep. I know some people do. But it's nice to take this time out and let our body reset itself, let our brain organize through the body. It's always wanting to pull back to neutral, which is what can cause pain if something is stuck out of alignment. So we'll help ourselves to rest back into neutral. Open up the chest, relax the upper back through the ground. With your neck rehab, again, feel like you're meditating through the class. The more relaxation we can do through the exercises, the better. Some of the exercises are tough. They're a lot of work to hold, or they're tough because we've got stiffness and tightness in certain areas. So slow and relaxed is always going to help us to release the body. Think about breathing into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. A deep breath that you hold at the top for a second or two, then release and hold for a second or two, helps to relax our vagus nerve, the nerve that's working with our digestion, with the relaxation through the body, our parasympathetic nervous system. So from our gut, innervates our lungs, our heart, up into the brain. There's a thick part of the nerve behind our belly button, so that belly breathing really helps to flush and hydrate and relax and tone the nerve. So breathe in slowly for 3, hold for 2, breathe out for 3 and hold for 2. In, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, in, hold, out, hold, and that can get longer if you like. Open up the chest, stretch the arms and relax the arms through the ground. Relax your hips, relax your legs. Make sure you're not tensing one side of the body by accident or pushing into the chair with one leg and not the other. Relax and even it out through the legs, the hips, your spine melting through the mat, lower spine, mid spine, upper spine. Feel that gentle chin nod and the weight of the back of the head. Feel the support, so feed it into the body. Feel the inside of the body and then make your way out. Feel the outside of the body and make your way in. Practice your vagus nerve breathing. Let your body relax. Scan from your toes all the way up to the head and keep breathing. And when you're ready, you can come out of it. For our next exercise, we're repeating our standing against the wall, loading through the load-bearing joints in the body. So we use 2 books on day 1 for this exercise. You can use the books, you can use a shoe box, you can use a yoga block, or you can curl up your mat. So often it doesn't take very much to assist or prop yourself, so you don't need to go out and buy things. If you have a mat that you're lying on, a towel or some blankets, you can roll it up. We just want to get this the opposite of a high heel, so flexing from the ankles. Just make sure the feet are not turning out or rolling in. So you're pressing through the heels. Feel length and strength through the legs, through the ankles, the knees, the hips. Watch your rib cage flaring. Watch your pelvis dipping forward. So you tuck your tailbone, scoop through the core, knit the ribs together. Fingertips are gentle against the wall. So it's almost like you're very gently pushing yourself back. And then notice the body switching on to hold you here. We're going to hold this for 3 minutes. So relax your shoulders. Imagine you're just trying to tip away from the wall. Feel the abs switching on to hold you here. We want to be loading through the hips, so it's like a balance exercise. Feel the pelvis load down into the knees. Feel the knees load down into the ankles. Feel your shoulders sitting on your rib cage. Knit the ribs together and then push the rib cage down into the hips. Nice and tall through the spine. Make sure you're not squashing the chest, so open up your chest, relax your shoulders. The head sits on top of this solid structure. We're pulling the toes up, pushing through the heels, getting length through the entire back chain of the body, and a little slack through the fascial lines at the front of the legs into the hips. Scoop through the core, helping to keep your pelvis in place. Keep breathing. Relax your shoulders. There's length across your chest. Hips are pressing down into the knees and the ankles, feeding up into the ribs and the shoulders. Tall, long and strong with the spine, using your core, relaxing the shoulders. Feel this bearing, this weight bearing down through the ankles. Might feel different from one foot to the other. Make sure you're not leaning into one side more than the other. So go and explore. Bring your mind into your body and explore and adjust if you need to. Fully present is always going to get you the most healing, the most results. So bring your mind into the inside of your neck, inside your rib cage, inside your pelvis, inside the legs. Press down, float up nice and strong, up nice and solid down, pushing against the wall gently to feel your muscles switch on and hold you in position. That little bit of balancing, because we're lifting our toes. So much of our balance in our brain is into our big toe. So taking that out of the equation, we really have to switch on and get all the stabilizers of the body kicking in. Keep breathing. Make sure the knees aren't going out to the sides, the ankles aren't twisting out or in. You're nice and neutral. Use the core. Find your balance as if you're barely touching the wall, or as if you're barely pushing yourself back off the wall, and you have to find your core and find your stability. Shoulders relaxed, spine is strong, core is strong but not squeezing. Down solid through the legs. Make sure you're not squeezing one hip, it's nice and even through the legs. And when you're ready, you can let it go. For our next exercise, we're going to just look at the ranges that our neck gives us. So we have flexion, extension, we have rotation, and we have side bending, and we've got combinations, so we can rotate and side bend. And again, appreciate how heavy that is for the neck. When we think of that analogy earlier of holding the weight above your head, you don't want to be the person who has to hold this weight or this weight or to the side. You want to hold vertical, stacking through the body, and then you're going to win the prize if you have to hold that weight up there for the longest. So let's just feel it out ourselves. So we're sitting cross-legged. Relax your shoulders, and let's go left ear to the left shoulder, then right ear to the right shoulder. Some of us might feel restriction straight away. We might feel it in the center of the neck. You might feel it more around the skull, or you might feel it around your collarbone or the upper back a little bit. So we can feel all those attachments. Just go from side to side. Maybe you haven't taken time to do this in a long time, but just try and feel. Maybe it will surprise you which side feels better than the other, or maybe a little more restricted than the other. And just kind of take note of that. And it's normal, it doesn't mean you're not perfect. So it's normal that one side is different because we have a hand that we write with, we have a dominant side that we fire with, as much as we want to balance that out. So I can really feel it here with my right shoulder. You're mirroring me, but it's my right shoulder. So then I would take that as a note to do a little more massage on this side. Let's do it with flexion and extension. So I think most of us are going to feel the extension feels like more of a stretch, but you might feel it in the upper part of your neck or down your back. Try and keep the rest of your spine out of it, so keep the center of the body strong and flex and extend. It's just for a little exploration. Now get even taller and relax your shoulders, and we'll go for rotation. So to the left, see how far you go, and then to the right. We're not letting the shoulders go with it, so the shoulders stay forward and you go left and then right. Get your eyes to look to the left first, as far as you can, then follow it and keep looking left, and you notice you can go a bit further. That's a little neuromuscular trick. Come back to the center. Get your eyes to look as far as they can to the right, so stretch your eyes. Now go to the right side and keep stretching the eyes, and you notice you go a little bit further. It's up to you if you do that with the eyes or not, and we'll go left and right, just exploring how creaky is it, how stiff is it, where do you feel any restrictions if you do. Now we're going to keep the head in the center. Just relax your arms and now move the shoulders around the head, kind of like a little bit of a sway from side to side. Keep the head, keep looking forward at the screen or at a point on the wall, and just move the shoulders. We're just appreciating all the links through the body and the neck movements. So we're going to keep it there. We're not going to do a rotation and a bend forward because it can be a lot of pressure on the neck, so we'll keep it there for now. So we're going to get the heel of the hand or the fingertips and just press down, so around here, around our breastbone. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds. So we'll see the timer come up on the screen for 30 seconds. Chin up, pull down, sit tall. Keep breathing. Sit tall so we're not compensating. And you can come out of it. So you can do both sides. You can get your fingers in grip underneath the collarbone. You can get the heels of the hands in, whatever helps you to get a hold of the muscles there, and then the chin comes up. 30 seconds. Breathe deep. Continue to stretch the muscles down and find a grip. And you can let it go. So we'll pick one side to start with. The fingers pull the skin down over the collarbone, press in, get a little grip. It could be the heel of your hand as well. And we go slight rotation, slightly back, feel it up into the ear. Keep breathing. We've got 30 seconds. And you can come back to the center. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. So get that grip around the start of your collarbone, in and down. Head rotates slightly, goes back slightly. Keep breathing, 30 seconds. Feel it around your jaw and your ear. And when you're ready, you can let it go. So today I'm going to show you some skin rolling. We don't want any massage oils on the finger or on the neck, on the fingers or the neck. Our skin is going to produce its own oil as we go through it. This can be really painful for some people. For other people it doesn't feel like much. For some people it's really nice. If it's really painful, it could indicate that there are quite a lot of tissues stuck together and there's a lot of feedback there, so it might be nice to go to a massage expert and get some skin rolling done or some gentle massage done first. You could pause the video, rewind and go back to those neck stretches and repeat those instead if skin rolling is not for you. But to do our skin rolling, we're going to just grip the skin. So it's like this with the fingers. You grip it and pull it up, and then you keep drawing forward. So your thumb pushes it forward and the fingers keep pulling it forward. And we do that with the neck. The areas that it's really sore across, it could be a skinnier area, so just less fat, more skin, or it could be an area where there's something going on underneath. You can stop it if you want and repeat the stretches instead. So we're going to think about our from our collarbone up to our ear. When we start to skin roll, the SCM muscle tends to want to bring us kind of transverse, but we're going to ignore that and keep gripping the skin and coming up, straight up. So from, could be the start of your collarbone, the middle of your collarbone, a little towards the end, and up to the ear. So we relax it, we're not going to stretch it. You grip a bit of skin. You can start anywhere, it can be on the collarbone. Your thumb is pushing up and your fingers are pulling up. And again, the neck wants to draw you back, but we're going to go straight up, because we don't want to grip the muscle and go with the direction of the muscle. We're skin rolling. It's going to get a little bit red, loads of blood is going to flush to the surface. That's indicating the healing starting to happen underneath. But it's really important that we're just pulling the top of the skin. So it's a gentle myofascial release technique, and we're just doing it to ourselves. So whichever side you start on, and we're picking a route from our collarbone up to the back of the ear, and we're going to do 10. So you're rolling the whole way up. You're gliding, pushing up with the thumb and pulling up with the fingers. It's like a spider, its legs walking up. And get right up, as far as you can find skin, right up onto the skull. So 10, and then we start again. Find the skin and roll up. Maybe 5 suits you, maybe you don't want to go all the way to 10. Just see how it feels. And you're not pressing in and you're not pulling too hard. It's just enough to grip the skin. So 9. This is a really nice way to start breaking up any adhesions or an acid build-up here, which can be quite painful if there is stiffness in muscles here or a lack of range, and there could be an acid build-up. 8. So find your route. If it gets too sore, you can stop, or you can move slightly either side and get some new skin. Keep breathing. 7, so move slightly back if the skin needs a little bit of a break, but notice how the muscle tries to bring you back. Try and grip and find the new skin and pull it up. 7, and get all the way up into the skull. And we roll the whole way up. Relax the neck. It's tempting to stretch it. I was just doing it there by accident. 6, you can kind of feel any orange peel skin, any areas where you feel that texture that isn't smooth. That can indicate some tissues are stuck together. So just some tightness in the muscles, and we just start to break up those adhesions. Or scar tissue is another form of maybe some adhesion in the myofascial layers. So we roll up. That was 7, 6, and this is 5. Keep breathing. Again, you may have moved a little bit just to give some of the skin a break. That's okay. 4. Just keep making your way up. All the way to the jaw, the back of the ear. Find the bottom of the skull, the ridge of the skull. 3. Keep breathing. This really helps to improve range and flexibility. It doesn't seem like it would, but we don't think about the top layer maybe being stuck through the layers, and we just start to break that up. 2, and this is our last one. Keep breathing. You shouldn't feel nervy, sore, like a nerve feeling, so do move slightly if you need to. And 1. And now it's kind of strange how much of a release that gives you. We will do our little massage after as well, just to help to release the muscles. So we're going to do the second side. You can do 5 or 10, you can do the stretches instead, and you can move along the collarbone and make your way up to the back of the ear. So I'm going to start around the middle of the collarbone. I'm going to grip some skin, and then I'm going to try to keep rolling up that skin. So this is number 10. I always do that where you pull away from what you're doing, but try and relax into it so there's more skin rolling. I have to remind myself, so we'll all be present and come back in. Get right up to the skull. It's 10. We're skin rolling right up to the back of the ear. Stay slow with this. Myofascial release is always gentle and slow because you're working with the fascial layers. So we're not gripping the muscles, and we're not getting rid of knots in the muscles. We're getting rid of layers of muscles and skin and bone tissue, everything being stuck and interweaving each other. 9. Keep it slow so you're not racing through your 10 reps. You can always just pause the video and do 5 if you prefer, but do them well. So you got here and you turned up, so put everything into it and get the most out of it. Right up to the bottom of the skull. 8. Some people this is just too sore for. Even in the clinic or the studio, some people, I just could never do this too, no matter how much we warmed up the area. So if it's not for you, that's okay. 7. Maybe find a new area if you need. You can create slacks. There's more grip in the skin. Get right up to the jaw, to the back of the ear. 6. Rolling up. And if there's a day of this neck rehab that you really like, because they're slightly different to each other, you can always repeat it. So do repeat it before moving on as much as possible. The more the better. This can be done as a 20-day course. We have a 4-day course, but do keep repeating it if you want. 6. So think about pushing up with the thumb and pulling down with the fingers and rolling that skin. It's normal that it's a little bit red after. Get right up around the jaw and right up around the bottom of the skull. 5, and do move around the collarbone and make your way up. So find different routes. Pushing up with the thumb, pulling down with the fingers, your little spider leg movement with the fingers gripping. 4, it can be nice to get someone else to do this because obviously the arms and the hands can get tired, so 10 might be a lot. If you don't want to do all 10, that's okay. This is 3. Just make sure you don't hold your breath because we're concentrating. Create slack around the area that your skin rolling so you can find more skin. That was 2, so now we're on our last one. And notice again how SCM, sternocleidomastoid, wants to pull you back because of its transverse direction in the middle belly. So just ignore that. Stay more superficial to the outside layers of the skin and come up to the back of the ear. And you can let it go. And that's our day 3. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all feeling the benefits. Again, like I said, repeat the days as many times as you can and relax and meditate through the exercises if you can, because that's going to help our breathing, our neck, the structure in our body, and help our gripping muscles to release. And thank you so much for taking part in this challenge. I'll see you for day 4.